Welcome to the No Quit Living Podcast, where we aim to inspire and motivate people to never give up on themselves or their dreams. We will chat with highly successful people from all walks of life and discuss what motivates and drives them to successfully attack life head on and never give up. Welcome to episode number 19 of the No Quit Living Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher J. Worth, and today's theme of the day is How Bad Do You Want It? Our quote of the day comes to us from Eric Thomas. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. This episode of the No Quit Living Podcast is brought to you by the I3 Initiative. In today's society, it is so easy to get caught up in the drama, negativity, and uncertainty in the universe we are a part of. Against those challenges, we are committed to make the world a better place through improvement, impact, and integrity. You are invited to join our mission and learn more about our book club, membership, live events, and mastermind at i3initiative.com. That's the letter I, the number 3, initiative.com. I think you will really enjoy today's episode. Our guest shares his remarkable story about perseverance and his determination to succeed. In addition to becoming a very successful businessman, he has also written 15 books that have been translated into 25 different languages. It is very hard for his positive attitude and approach towards working hard not to rub off on each and every one of us. Just speaking to him and listening to his story motivated me to go out and attack my day. I'm honored to introduce Subir Chowdhury. I'd like to welcome you to the No Quit Living Podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me.
I appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
Unfortunately, there seems to be a lot of negativity floating throughout the media today. And as our number one objective is to motivate and inspire our listeners, I wanted to ask if you had a personal story about perseverance or perhaps a challenging time that tested you, but you kept on going and never quit.
Oh, that's an excellent question. As you know, I came in America in 1991 from one of the very poorest country in the world, Bangladesh. At that time, it was very poorest. Now, last 10 years, it really improved a lot. And when I landed in Michigan, my professor told me that if I come 2 weeks early, I might get complete a scholarship. So what I did, I came 3 weeks early, right, instead of 2 weeks. And as soon as I landed in the campus, immediately the first thing I did, I just dumped my bag in my dorm, and then I went directly to the professor's office and said, "Look, sir, pleasure meeting with you. My name is this." And he said, "Oh, yeah, I'm expecting you. Oh, I think it is 2 weeks from today, but you came even 1 week earlier. Wow." So then, have a seat. And then I sat and he said, "Hey, unfortunately, all the scholarships are already given. And I'm sorry, it will not work out." So this is my first day in America. And I said, "Sir, you cannot do this." I said, "Sir, I already declined all the other schools just to come over here to work for you. And you told me for 2 weeks, if I can impress you, you'll give me a scholarship. And now you're saying that I don't have, I said, "Sir, unfortunately, I don't have any money to even register." Very honestly, I didn't come up with anything. And I don't have any relative. I'm the first person ever came to America. And he said, "I'm sorry." So I just cried. I gave my engineering certificate. I was trying to explain to him. Nope, no is an answer. And I came to my dorm and completely broken heart with respect of what will happen to me. And then I kind of tried to compose and I tried to figure it out, how much money. And then I found out I'm still $200 short. Forget about my food money, even to register as a legal student for whatever money I brought. I think I brought like $1,800 or something, and it needs $2,000 or something. It was like, so I have to go to a bank to get a $200 loan. And I was denied and denied and denied. And some of my friends at that time, not friends, basically they are the international students from Bangladesh, India, and the Southeast Asia on that side. They are trying to comfort me. Some people wants to loan me. Some people wants to help me. And they said, "Hey, look, you can do some illegal off-campus work. Don't worry about it." And I said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And ultimately, what I've done, I just went did some mindfulness. And I kind of felt that, maybe God is testing me or somebody's testing me to find out that what this is why this happened to me. So then I thought that I said, no, this is the America not I read. This is not the America I saw in movies. So I kind of felt that I said, I'm going to do everything in my power and I'm going to get the scholarship. And what happened is, from that energy, I went to every single department. Think about this: a foreign student landing in a country after, 1 day or 2 day, going to every single, like, journalism department, English department, right? Think about that, like science department, all the single department I was going. And then finally, after 20-second rejection, within 1 week time frame. And sometime I was humiliated. I was thrown out of the professor's office saying that, what the heck? You came as an engineering student and you are trying to get an scholarship. Are you out of your mind? Sorry, what you did in journalism? Just get lost, like that. And I tried to still keep the pitch, every time different pitch. Finally, mathematics department chair. And I came just so that, to do my degree in industrial management. Now I'm in mathematics department, nothing to do with the industrial management. Mathematics department chair sat with me and he said, I was amazed that how, you went to 22 departments. I said, yes, sir. He said, wow. He said, you need the money badly. I said, yes. He said, hey, look, even if you don't get a scholarship, I can give you some loan. I said, no, sir, I don't need that. Because I have a degree, I have the brain, I have an aerospace engineering degree, I can make a difference. Give me a chance. So ultimately what happened after listening to this, he said, I'm going to introduce a professor. There's no guarantee. And then long story short, he introduced me a professor. Within 2 weeks, I went through a lot of interview process, and I have to do a research on polymer science, believe it or not. I was doing a degree in industrial management, and I have to do a research on polymer engineering. And I received a Dow Chemical Fellowship. Complete, and this fellowship completely paid for my tuition. Not only that, even my room and board, plus with room and board, I have enough money to take friends to have a beer in the bar. So I instantly became like a rich guy, right? Now think about it, and believe it or not, till today, I felt that, that you are talking about the perseverance, right? And that is the one thing I wanted to preach now to a lot of kids in America, that they are kind of feeling that American dream doesn't exist. No, it exists even right now too. It is there. Question is that how badly you want it. And believe it or not, that thesis, that master's degree, my thesis on polymer engineering from the university, it got the best thesis award after 2 years of the graduate school. Best thesis award, combining master's and PhD combined, right? And after that, my life completely changed. Before I even graduated, I got job and all this stuff. Now the point is, think about that part. Think about the story I told you about that regarding this. You are talking about the part. Now, these are one particular stories. Even believe it or not, I was living in Michigan, and I wanted to purchase a land from a prime property in Los Angeles from our current president, Donald Trump, who was a real estate tycoon, right, at that time, not a president. This is almost 5 years ago. And he denied for 3 years. He said, Subir, no, I wanted to sell you a home. Don't want to sell you a land. And it took me 3 years persuasion. Ultimately, he sold me the land.
Wow.
Right? Now, and he came to my home after I built it, and he said, wow, you did a phenomenal job. Right? Think about this, right? And I have nothing to do with the real estate, right? You know what I'm saying? The point is, because I was trying to experience myself. I was trying to continuously push myself that, hey, whatever I dream, can I achieve in America? Answer is yes. Answer is yes. Look, when I first wrote my first book, I never, this is my 15th book, the one I wrote, The Difference. My first book when I wrote that, one editor persuaded me saying that, Subir, your speech sounded, and I was only 26 years old. Your speech sounded like there's a book in your head. Maybe you can write a book, it can change the automotive industry's quality. And I didn't understand it. I thought, what is wrong with this person? I never wrote a book. And she persuaded me, and I finally said, no problem, I'm going to write it. I don't know, it'll be a good quality, but ultimately I gave my 110% into it. And that book became one of the best book in the automotive quality. That is my first book. And that changed my career, And Again, the point is, whatever you wanted to dream, question is how badly you wanted this. Every human being has the potential, tremendous amount of potential, right? Question is that how badly you want to achieve it. I in fact gave a speech in when I was received from the Department of Homeland Security as a outstanding American by choice. Every year, Department of Homeland Security honor approximate 5 to 10 Americans immigrant Americans that as their outstanding American by choice award. And I received in 2009 when I gave the speech after that, and I talked about anything I dreamed, this nation made it reality. And every single citizenship oath ceremony, believe it or not, that quote they show Subir Chowdhury from Bangladesh. And the reason I say that because now, did I face the challenges even from immigration? Answer is yes. Like my parents got denied visa when I was not even a green card holder in America, right? And the case went all the way to Warren Christopher. I didn't give up. And then ultimately, my parents came in, right? And even at that time, I didn't have a green card. I didn't have citizenship, nothing. Easily, and I fought against the U.S. immigration at that time, and rightfully so. And ultimately, both my parents came in to, witness. I was receiving one of the, highest recognition from Automotive Hall of Fame, and I was 29 years old, and my parents' visa was denied because they are planning to attend, and then ultimately how I overcame that challenge, involving the senators, congressmen, and everybody, and ultimately Warren Christopher has to interfere to get that done, right? Because I believe in American principles till today, right? So do I face challenges even now? Absolutely. But now it's much less because obviously, success breeds success. And obviously for my last 20 years of work, it became much, easier. But still there is a challenge, and I try to continuously overcome, and I kind of try to experiment in different areas. And that's what I was trying to do with this book, because last 10 years, I believe in America, some of the things I wrote in the book about is kind of degrading, that our caring mindset is degrading in America.
Now you share a great story, and you share some great pieces on perseverance. And you mentioned your new book, The Difference, which I just finished a few weeks back, and I have to tell you, I thought it was remarkable in many different ways. One of the things you talk about is a story that your grandfather and you shared about the difference between a coin and a pen. I was curious if you wouldn't mind quickly sharing the basis of that story.
Thank you for asking me, because that is a very quote to my heart, that what he taught me. And it is very, even till today, it is very emotional to me about this whole story. Because at that time, when he taught me, I did not understand it, the depth of it as much. But I kind of felt that what he taught me is so profound, and that changed my life. So when I was like 5 years old, and he used to do an kind of a used to play a game with me. And he used to say, he used to give me a pen and a coin and say, pick one of the two. And every time I picked a coin, he said, Subir, never pick the coin, always pick the pen. So I used to ask my grandfather, I said, grandfather, why you want me to pick the pen? He said, Subir, look, if you pick the pen, trust me, coin, you will have so many coins, you will not have enough space to keep them. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, look, as soon as if you pick the coin, that coin, you will spend it somewhere and it'll be gone. But if you invest in pen, what will happen is that everything you see in the world, everything you see in the world is created by pen. So I said, what do you mean by that? He said, suppose there is a play. You're watching a play, or you are watching something in the television, or you are reading a book. Everything is created by a pen. So pen is the creation. He didn't use the word innovation, but he used the word creation. He said, so I said, Grandpa, he said, look, suppose if you read a book, you like it or dislike it, you take the time and to write to the author. I said, Grandpa, I'm only 7 years old. I'm 8 years old. Those authors may not reply to me. He said, Subir, If they don't reply to you, you write to them again. I said, Grandpa, I'm nobody to them. He said, that's okay. Who told you are nobody? You are somebody. If you can breathe, then you are somebody. I said, really? He said, yes. He said, you write that letter. So I said, suppose I write to them. They don't reply. What should I do? He said, Subir, write it again. I said, suppose Grandpa, I wrote 100 letters. They don't reply. What should I do? He said, write the 101st one. So I said, you are telling me ultimately every one of them will reply? He said, yes. So I said, why you say that? He said, Subir, if you're a human being, if any of those people you are writing, they are human being. And anybody in the world is reachable. Always remember that. Question is that how badly you want to reach them. I said, okay. So I started writing letters at the age of 7. By the time I became 12, all of the nation's top laureates, top actor, top actress, top playwriters, top directors, all intellectual of the countries, hundreds of them became my best friend. I'm only 12 years old. So my leadership skill developed by the age I'm 12. And some of these influential people, they used to dine with me and used to introduce to the other people. Hey, this is one of my very young friend, big young fan. And I love his writing so much. He wrote me letters and all this stuff. I didn't reply. It took him 25 letters and the 26th letter I reply. And here I am. He's one of a very good friend of mine, very talented guy. And then they introduced me to the other of their friends. So then when I went to college, guess what? I reached them out, all my intellectual friends. I was doing a degree in engineering in one of the top school, number one school in India. It's called IIT, Indian Institute of Technology. And I even brought some of those people in my campus. And I started the first, literary magazine of that university, of the engineering school. And all those laureates wrote for free, no charge, because they are all my friends. So, and the reason it is that a story about the coin and the pen, right? And think about what I accomplished today. This is my 15th book, and I have like 4 or 5 already, international bestseller. Books are translated more than 25 languages, and all those things. I still feel that because I choose that pen. The other thing he talked with me, like it told me about, anybody is reachable. So guess what? When I first wrote my first book in quality, that was my first book, and I was 27 years old. And when that book came out, my goal was I wanted to reach out to every single person who were living legend at that time in the field of quality. Dr. Taguchi, Philip Crosby, J.D. Power. So guess what? I wrote to them. At that time, it's nobody. Nobody knows me. I was not even known at all in quality, right? And now, if I wrote to anybody in the field of quality or management, they'll reply. But at that time, I was nobody. So I reached to them, and they didn't reply. Use the grandfather principle. Wrote to them again. Ultimately, not only everybody replied, they reviewed my manuscript and everything, and everybody flew in Chicago from all over the world, all these giants from Japan, from Los Angeles, everybody flew, spent their own money to launch my book in Chicago, right? In one of the 50th Annual Quality Congress to launch my book. All showed up and talk about and praise about my book. So think about that part, that pen and a coin. So everything I've done in my life is following that pen. So I felt by the age I was like 10 or 11, I felt pen has a magic, as if it has such a power, right? And I still, very blunt with you, that I still have tremendous amount of respect for the writers and authors and all those people, because they are the one, that is the profession, helped me tremendously. And I used to get so excited. Think about, 12 years old in having a friendship with a guy like a 12-year-old American child having a friendship with Stephen King. Think about that. Or, J.K. Rowling, right? At that time, that is the way my feeling was. And I developed so much of leadership skill. At that time, I never even thought that I'll become one of the world's leading business authors. I never thought that, right? It kind of evolved. So, and that's what I did, always follow. And that's what I was trying to reach out to all the younger generation in America that whatever dream you have, anybody is reachable, anybody. And the good news about this, based on this, a lot of the speeches I gave all over the world, so many younger generation even reached me out. And obviously I tested them too. So, I didn't reply, and I see, who is continuously having the perseverance and never gave up. And ultimately I responded to them and I was shaking up some of their thinking. And that's what anybody should do. Focus on the pen.
That's an incredible story, and it means a lot to me. Ironically, that's how you and I connected. I read your book, and I sent you a letter, and I got an email from, I believe, your assistant. But one of the things we talk about at No Quit Living with not only our individual clients, but also our corporate clients is 1 degree of separation. So many people understand the analogy of 6 degrees of separation. In today's day and age of technology advancement, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google. There's so many ways to connect with people. And one of the things we really preach is 1 degree of separation. If you truly want to get connected to somebody, a company, an organization, a charity, you're 1 degree away from separation. The question is, how bad do you want it? And I can't agree more with what you said. And the difference of the coin versus the pen is now 15 books later, being transcribed into 25 languages. Clearly, your grandfather had an impact, and he sounds like quite an interesting guy. I was curious if you have a specific morning or daily ritual that you feel has led to your personal and business success.
One of the thing is I every single day when I wake up, each of us as a human being, we go in front of the mirror, right? Every day, and we are brushing our teeth. When you are brushing your teeth, I pause every day and I ask myself, okay, today, what can I do? One thing to make an impact to another human being, a positive impact to one human being. That's it. What is the one thing I can do? A positive thing, not negative, because we are bombarded with negativity every single day, right? You cannot even tell me a single television station that even in the sports channel that we don't think about, they don't talk about the negative. Okay. So here I am, I'm brushing my teeth and I'm thinking, what is the one thing I can do to another human being? Right. So even if I write a nice email to somebody, praising somebody, or somebody is in down, or I saw something, or somebody in the, in the street, I saw something, wow, this guy is doing every single day. He's like, for an example, one of the police officer, when I drop my children in the school, I saw, because they have tremendously, crowded the street, and he always stand there and he's directing, and I've been seeing him for 3 years or 4 years, right? One day I stopped by and I said, sir, thank you, what you are doing. I sincerely appreciate it. He was a little bit shocked and he said, wow. I said, sir, you're making a difference every day. And I know nobody is telling you that, but trust me, you make an everyday difference. Let me tell you, today's my book is launched. And the book is called The Difference. I wanted to give it to you. Thank you for making a difference. I gave it to him. Question is, and I just give you an example. The question is, that is the one thing I kind of felt that it had a huge impact. The other impact what I have is that when I, irrespective of with my travel or everything, it doesn't matter where I am. I might be in a hotel room or somewhere else. I only take not more than 15 minutes of my time and just try to meditate and practice mindfulness. Try to find your self, your own self. Because each of us has tremendous amount of, any human being is unbelievable amount of potential and positive energy, irrespective of their position, irrespective of their financial position or a status or anything. Anybody, even a beggar on the street, have a tremendous amount of positive thing inside. Question is that some people got lucky. In their lifetime, they can unleash it. Some people don't. Some people work to unleash it. Some people don't. I always, that 15 minutes, I try to meditate and try to find my own self. That, irrespective of your religion, anybody, you just simply close your eyes and try to see your own self. What is the thing, the positive thing you can do for the society, for the community, for the just for your own self-satisfaction. I always talk about self-satisfaction is the hardest thing to do. Hardest thing to do, self-satisfaction, right? We normally tend to become too much of, too much of self-satisfied too easily by doing some fake stuff. What I mean by that, there is so much of it because we wanted to portray ourselves how great we are all the time, right? Not everybody, but a lot of them. In fact, the more you become successful, you might have even more challenges. But within that 15 minutes, you just think about how little you are, how little you know in your life. Once you have that feeling, then your humbleness will come. Then your positive energy will come. Then you can do something. So even if I learn from some of the school kids, even I can be one of the world's top management thinkers still, I feel that no, absolutely I can learn from those, because some of those kids are 10 times more talented in so many subjects that I don't have any clue, right? Every day, if you really think about that, how little you know. And so irrespective of where I'm traveling, what space I am, I still take that time for 15 minutes to do that. The other thing what I do when I go in my bed, every single night, irrespective of the time zone, I kind of feel that, ask myself the question, I'm going to bed right now. Did I do anything to anybody that might be, I'm not at my best, or I didn't feel that I should have been done differently, because I'm still a human being. I'm not perfect. I have a lot of flaws. So what are the flaws I've done on that day? And I try to self-analyze, and then I kind of come up with a plan saying that, okay, I'm going to fix that, my weakness, and then I go to bed. And the reason is that what is important of that, I kind of feel that it's very important that when you're going to bed, can you sleep well at night? I kind of find, believe it or not, it's very hard for me to tell you that I met thousands of so-called successful senior business leaders cannot sleep well at night because of their action. I'm sorry to tell you that. Seriously, because of their action. And they're not proud of. And some of them, I ask that question, are you living a quality life? That is a much more important question than saying that how many, at any cost, I'm trying to save billions of dollars. Think about, how much of corruptions and how much of, problems are going on, and so many, these congressmen, senators, this, that, all kind of people, business leaders going to jail. In fact, Harvard Business School Professor Clayton Christensen wrote a book with a frustration called, How Will You Measure Your Life? And he's an innovation expert. And the reason he wrote that book, because he found a lot of his classmates in 1967 batch of, I think 67 or 70 batch of Harvard Business School batchmate end up in jail. Think about it. There is a chapter title of that book called Stay Out of Jail. And these are white collar, I talked in the book. In fact, I gave an example. Cornell University did a study on the white collar crime in America. It cost $300 billion annually. $300 billion annually for the white collar crime in America. Do you really think that they can sleep well at night? No. And that's what I'm talking about. Think about this. In America, we made a NASDAQ, somebody like a pathological liar like Bernie Sanders becoming a NASDAQ chairman. Think about that, right? So, and that's what, these are very simple principles, but very hard to practice. But if you have the mindset, you can. Question is, do you have that mindset? It is very simple. I talked about, at the beginning, that in the morning, talking about what is the one thing I can do better to another human being, positive impact to another human being. And in the, at any time of the day, you think about, just take 15 minutes of your time from the iPhone, from the cell phone, everything, all of your devices off. Go on your own self. It can be walk, it can be whatever, and just try to find your own self. That's it, right? And you will know what the true answers are. And and the final, when you go to the bed, think about on that whole day what you have done, self-analyze and try to see if you can improve anything. And if you have that kind of mindset, what will do? It will help you to the next day or following month or whatever, try to fix your flaws. Because each of us has tremendous amount of flaws. So our job is, am I working on my flaws? Even today, if you ask me, the world tell me I'm one of the top quality gurus or management gurus or whatever, but I felt that I'm still learning. Learning is the continuous process. I'm still a student.
No, you bring up a remarkable point in regards to looking in the mirror every morning and asking yourself, what positive impact can you have on one person? And I can't help but think, what if half of our United States population, or what if 1/10 of the world's population made an honest effort every day to do something for someone else? It could be as simple as holding a door open for somebody or letting somebody in traffic go ahead of them. But it's awesome that you share that, and I really appreciate that. Here's a out of the box question for you. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Mother Teresa. Unfortunately, I supposed to meet with her, and then whatever the reason, it didn't happen at that time, and then she passed away. I have a tremendous amount of respect because one thing some of her teachings is so amazing that she used to say, don't wait for leaders, do it alone. So anything you want to do in life, just think that, hey, don't criticize somebody else. Just do it yourself. If you wanted to make a change, do it yourself. Look, in my lifetime, I've seen that, somebody like her, even till today, if you visit Calcutta in her tomb, you will see all types of religion, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, all types of Buddhist, all type of religion praying in front of that tomb. Even today, if you visit there, at this moment you go there, you will find all types of religions are side by side, right? Why? Because she felt, and she never claimed, in fact, we are the one after she passed away that, made her saint or whatever, but she never claimed. She, in fact, wrote a lot of tough letters to the, letters and questioning about the existence of God or whatever. And her simple principle she followed. In Calcutta, there is another very renowned person of Hinduism. Is called his ideals also was inspired. Like Mother Teresa was inspired by his ideal. He's a Hindu monk. His name is Swami Vivekananda, and he's the first monk came to in Chicago. Gave a lecture on the first Hindu monk ever visited in the West to gave a lecture. In fact, they still have called Vivekananda Hall. They named after him, and he also has the same principle. He said, if you wanted to serve God, serve the God's creation, a human being. Simple. Only way you can serve God, irrespective of what God, it can be any religion's God, is serving another human being. Tremendously profound, right? Does it have tremendous impact on management field? Absolutely. It has nothing to do with religion. But very honest with you, when I meet with a lot of senior leaders, CEOs, political leaders, I talk to them about this. Think about it. I don't ask their religion, nothing, right? I have all types of clients in all types of religion. But I just talk to them, saying that these are human beings, right? And that's what she did. She gave life to the people who are abandoned, completely abandoned, okay? And she never asked them their religion, nothing. She might be criticized now with a lot of fanatic people are talking about, rubbish about her or whatever, but who cares? That is their judgment. Any famous people always have other people will be talking about something else about them, bad or whatever, ugly. But it doesn't matter. Nobody can deny. She picked up human being, babies from the dustbin of Calcutta, abandoned by their parents, unwanted parents, right? And She picked them up. The people are dying on the street. Nobody even looked at them. Mother went there and mother put her hand. And she talked about we as a human being, irrespective of whatever it is, the pain or whatever we have, only thing we need, human touch. Touch. Amazing. She never claimed. In fact, a lot of people later on, a lot of people felt that, they got out of cancer or whatever, the disease they have because mother touched them. But she said no. In fact, she talked about in the US, she said, you can have the best of the best, financial wealth or whatever, but you guys need even more touch than poorest of the poor. She said the richest of the richest needs more human touch than poorest of the poor, right? So that is the one person I really like to have dinner with or lunch with. Another person, it come to my mind is a poet named Rabindranath Tagore. He is the first Nobel laureate of India, 1913, on the first Nobel laureate in literature, in fact, and is amazing personality and everything he talked about. Even if you research him, Rabindranath Tagore, and at his time, he's just unbelievable man. Like all. He is a musician. He was he composed amazing music. Even after 150 years later, still that music is the most popular music in the Bengali culture. And Bengali as a language is the 7th largest language in the world with the population perspective. And his music, his composition of the music was the national anthem of 3 different countries: Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and India. So that is another person I wanted to dine with.
Well, it sounds like 2 incredible people. Before we let you go, I wanted to ask you if you had some parting words for our listeners.
I wanted to kind of mention to your listeners that irrespective of any position they have in their organization, either for-profit, non-profit, government, whatever the company they're working, any human being can make a difference. Now, to make a difference, you need to have a caring mindset. And what is caring mindset? I talked about 4 elements, which stand for a star. So think about a star. So if you wanted to be a star in your whatever you do, either at home or at community or at your office, you practice 4 things. And it's very easy to remember a star, right? Straightforward. Be straightforward. Whatever you are doing, be honest and be straightforward. And I understand that corporate America, a lot of the time, especially large corporations, even punish for their straightforwardness. But leave that job. Go somewhere else. Be honest. Rather be a dishonest person to another company that where you are having a miserable thing and being not as straightforward because of fear of getting punished. Leave that job. Go somewhere else. Find a straightforward culture company that where they reward their straightforwardness. Second element is thoughtful. Be thoughtful. Thoughtful to anybody, right? And it's much more like basically thoughtful is a 2-step process. It's called the listening and empathy to your colleagues or whoever, in your community or at your home, be thoughtful to others. And the third thing is always feel accountable. Whatever you are doing, always remember that take the personal responsibility. Anything you do, because nowadays I find in organizations, if any problem happen, we just point finger at each other. We are not taking our own accountability, own responsibility. But if you work for an organization, always feel that you are accountable, irrespective of what the organization is. Most of our congressmen and senators in US Congress felt that they are not accountable. I'm not joking. They think that only the voting time they think that they're accountable, right? And the last thing is resolve. So resolve means having the patience and determination and perseverance to find a solution to a problem or improve the situation that is resolved. So if you practice these 4 principles, then you are developing caring mindset. That means a straightforward, then thoughtful, accountable, result. If these four principles, if you can practice, and it is not like you have to do it one step by step. Any one of them you can do at any time. Think about which area you are strong, which area you're weak. Try to work on those. But if you can somehow keep these four elements, your life would be good and you can make a difference.
That's some great stuff, and I truly appreciate you sharing with us. And last question for you, and I promise it's probably the easiest one you'll get all day, is what is the best way for our listeners to connect with you?
The best way would be obviously my website you can visit is subirchowdhury.com, which is spelled SubirChowdhury.com. And you can find my email address and everything in that website. Then you can email me, or you can tweet me at Subir Chowdhury, @Subir Chowdhury. You can tweet me, and I normally reply. And that's all. And you can also find me in LinkedIn as well. Or you just simply Google my name, and you'll pretty much get it.
Well, listen, I cannot thank you enough for your time as well as your insight. You shared some great stuff. And as our number one objective is to motivate and inspire our listeners, I think that anybody that listens to your story when you first came over to our country, most people would give up and head back, but you did not. And they say that the third time's a charm. When it came to you and your scholarship, it wasn't the third time. It was actually the 23rd time that was a charm. So thank you so much for your insight. Thank you again for your time, and I look forward to hopefully speaking with you soon.
Thank you so much for featuring me. I sincerely appreciate it.
To sum up today's episode and our theme of the day, how bad do you want it? Subir delivered some very powerful yet simple ways we can all have a positive impact on others. When he came to our country from Bangladesh, he arrived in Michigan to the news that his college scholarship was no longer available. When most people would have packed up and quit, Subir did just the opposite. He decided that no matter what, he was going to succeed and get his scholarship. After being told no 22 different times, on the 23rd attempt, Subir finally obtained that scholarship. He shared with us that he believes everyone has the potential in them. The only question is, how bad do you want it? Subir discussed his daily ritual of looking in the mirror every morning as he brushes his teeth and asking himself what positive impact can he have today on just one person. I find it very inspiring how a simple question can have such a profound impact on someone else. What if every day we each tried to positively impact just one person? Compounded, we could all have a huge impact with resounding positive results. How bad do you want it? How bad do you really want to accomplish your goals? Is that promotion or that new client something you are just interested in? Or are you willing to do whatever it takes? How many of us can honestly say that we are truly willing to do whatever it takes? How many of us can say that after being told no 22 times, that we would still come back and make that 23rd attempt? I challenge you today that no matter what your goal or objective is, don't give up. Keep going for your greatness, whatever it takes. And lastly, to our listeners, thank you. We truly appreciate your time, and we hope our episodes inspire you to keep on attacking life and never giving up. To quote Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, it's always too early to quit.